was a bit frustrating, but because of this experience and just the last 7 weeks, I've decided that I just need to take a break. So what I ended up doing is I withdrew a third of my account to take care of all the expenses for the month of August. And sometime in August, I'll probably go back to trading, but now I'm on a inflection point really, because it's easier to trade when you have more cash. It's hard to force things when your account is so small. However, I do need to pay the bills, so now I'm on a crossroads really of, can I continue to do this, or do I need to go back and find a part-time job or find a W-2? Hey, how's it going? It's Rocky. Welcome to week 30th of our journey trading the futures market. What I have up here is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is represented by YM for the futures. And what I'm showing is the chart for the year 2023, and each candlestick represents 1 day. I wanted to show this, just an interesting fact, I guess, or more of a pattern that you can look at. These vertical lines represent FOMC day. Really, it's a 2-day conference, but the date that I have marked here is when Jerome Powell actually has a press conference and verbalizes what they had talked about during the FOMC meeting. And this is where a lot of pundits will go back and forth if he's hawkish or not and what he's intending for the future. And it's usually a pretty volatile day when these occurs. And I just wanted this up here because that's how I was trying to approach this week on how to trade, really the past 2 weeks, which actually bit me a little bit. But anyway, let's zoom in to the last couple months here, specifically the streak that started on July 10th. So this streak right here actually shows a red candle on day number 4 and day number 10 and day number 12. However, that's for the futures market. On the regular fair value DJI, Dow Jones Industrial Average, so this 13-day winning streak for the Dow Jones Industrial Average actually tied the record that was set in 1987. And if it wasn't for this red day on the 14th day, it would have actually tied the record, which was on 1897, which occurred a year after the index was established. And that was quite a record, and unfortunately, instead of looking at what was in front of the charts, I went with the more of my gut feeling, which went wrong here, because normally when I trade by my rules, I do well. And if I go my gut feeling, that's when the problem usually occurs. It's because it's been an exhausting up and down for me since June, as you can see here. It's been up and down ever since the contract changed from a June contract to a September contract. You can see it going up and then down, back up again, back down again. And the last 7 weeks for me has just really been exhausting, and I'll show you the chart later on how our performance was. So on this one, I'll actually show my trades here so you can see when I finally exited, or rather entered a short that didn't go so well. It wasn't until the day number 7 that I decided to short, because I mean, after such a 7-day winning streak and on a day where the range was 482 points and it was pretty strong, I had thought at that time there was a good time to short. And lo and behold, it went on a historic run, which actually made me pay, which ended up me closing out a bit of on the peak there on the 14th day, about 15 minutes or so before it actually dipped dipped to about 300 points on that day, which was a bit frustrating. But because of this experience and just the last 7 weeks, I've decided that I just need to take a break. So what I ended up doing is I withdrew a third of my account to take care of all the expenses for the month of August. And sometime in August, I'll probably go back to trading, but now I'm on a inflection point really, because it's easier to trade when you have more cash. It's hard to force things when your account is so small. However, I do need to pay the bills, so now I'm on a crossroads really of, can I continue to do this, or do I need to go back and find a part-time job or find a W-2? So here is actually how our progress has been for the year 2023. I do keep track with my Excel sheet, and if you wanted to fact check all of these values, you can always go back through my history. I always try to release how I did every week by showing you the account statement. The year actually started pretty well. This is when I still had my full-time job, where this futures trading was more of a side hustle that I did after my work. So I used to refer to it as my 5 to 9 after the 9 to 5, because with the futures market, it's open 24 hours almost, with a little bit of a pause right after the US market close. So it was very convenient for me to do it in the evening during the Asia and EU hours, where the market is actually slower and there's no conflict of interest with my 9 to 5. So started the year actually up about $6,805.30, which is pretty good for a side hustle. And then unfortunately, we dipped down to negative 4,000 or so, and managed to get that back up again to green, about $610.26. And then unfortunately, around week 9, week 10, that's when I had to switch from it being a side hustle to becoming my main hustle. And I won't go to the details of what happened there, but I guess with just the pressure, how emotional I was, and a lot of external things that was going on, actually became one of the worst trading weeks I've ever had. Because you can see here, I was down 5,000 year to date, and we actually got down all the way to negative 26,000. So on that week, I actually didn't release any content because it was such a bad week. And I was so worried at that time, because I was like, hey, could I make this trading work? But at the same time, trading was the only way I could make it work to be able to support myself and my family. And I was pretty proud to say that from negative 26,000, we got it down to about negative 3 before we dipped to negative 11 again. And then eventually in about week 23, we were at positive 4,869. So that was kind of good to be on that peak there. But this is the start of that 7 weeks, which became very, very difficult for me as far as the mental aspect of it, because being up 4,000 and going down to negative 4,000 and being back up again to plus 6,000, and then dipping to negative 1,000, and then finally getting 2 weeks in a row of green, where we're back up to 9,000, which is our best for the year 2023. And of course, doing that unfortunate gut feeling short on a historical run for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which got us down to a year to date of negative 5,000. I really just needed a break. So hopefully the break won't take too long. I just need to reset on my outlook of things. It's always a good thing to know when you need a break, so that way you can come back a lot stronger and making this work. So yeah, that's our progress for the week. So I won't be doing any daily updates on my social media for a while. Normally I post how I did for the day, and no weekly updates unless I decide to do trade a lot sooner. But I told myself minimum 1 week I'm taking a break, and when I do come back, I'll need to go back to trading small again, or really just trading what is comfortable for me and what has made me successful, from going from negative 26,000 to plus 9,000, which is a delta of 35,000. So I think that's pretty impressive in its own right, but end of the day, I need to make money, right? And for the year, I am at negative $5,000. Anyway, that's our content. Thank you for always supporting my channel. Hopefully we can come back in a few weeks stronger, and I can show this graph again, and hopefully we'd be in the green. Thank you again for supporting my journey. I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is, and have a good one.